Greetings and welcome once again to another Barrendar Streams. Today we're taking a look at a new game called Dorf Romantik. And no, we're not talking the 1980s Tim Conway character here. This is rather a pleasant tile placement game where you can get your Bob Ross on. You'll see in your settings or resolutions, they cover most settings. You could pretty much run this game on any computer, so the specifications shouldn't be too hefty on any system. We'll start a new game so we can get into it and describe how the game works. It is still in early access at the moment. It's created by Toukana Studios Interactive, which is comprised of, I believe, 4 students from Berlin who created this game. And it came out with a demo, which was a free demo to play, and retails for $10 on Steam. So we're going to go into the classic mode and start it up so we can describe how the game works. Now, as it is a tile placement game, it does function on a hex setting. So each edge of the hex does matter as far as what is on it. So this tile, for example, on the right-hand side is fields. This would be fields that were planted, basically. So these, all 6 sides are fields. So if you were looking to connect them, that's how you would try to do it. You would look to connect like sides to like sides. So grass side to grass side. Each side that you connect together, which is perfect, gets you 10 points. If you can place a tile or close a tile where all 6 sides are the same, then you get a perfect, which gives you 60 points and I believe a bonus of 100 points, or at least it drops another tile onto the board onto your stack to work with. All right, so your stack begins with 40 tiles, and you can gain more as you go. At the top of your page, you're going to see 3 circles. These are basically quests that you can unlock. As you build out from the board a certain distance away in any direction, you're going to come across these white outlines of a tile. And once you connect to them, it unlocks a special quest where you can usually get a different colored variation of whatever the item is that it's giving you, or some other benefit for your tiles in the game. So, for example, Champion 3 here, if I get a high score of 15,000 points, it will probably unlock another, this is the water train station, so it might unlock a new variation of that item, depending on how you go. So these are found by building out to them, and once you unlock them, then you do whatever it says. So form a forest with at least 500 trees. Each tile has a certain amount of trees. When you get 500, you unlock the next part of it. So you can go for these at your leisure. The actual tiles themselves will occasionally pop up with something like this. This is call it a quest tile. So what it's asking for is this symbol represents the fields. Which is what this tile is currently, all fields. So you would need at least 3 or more fields connected to this particular tile in order to complete this quest, which will add, I believe, 5 tiles to your stack. When they come up with a flag on them, that means that you would need to close it so that no other tiles could be added to this tile after you reach the number. And then that will give you bonus tiles to your board as well. So every side that matches a side will give you 10 points, as I said. So unfortunately, we don't have a spot that is already set up here, so we're just going to place this tile down to start it with. So we need 3 more fields attached to this in order to complete this one. Now, you should also keep in mind when you're building that you're going to be dealing with waterways, railroads, houses, fields, and trees. So it's basically the 5 main areas that you'll deal with. So you don't want to start by placing a lot of items together in a clump where you're not going to be able to maneuver other tiles in place. So for example, this water tile, you're going to be connecting waterway to it. Were I to connect it to my fields tiles, I would shorten the area that I could work with for my fields. Not to mention, it has four sides of on the tile. It has four grass sides and two water sides. So I'd rather connect it to a grass side like this. So we're going to start this going over here in this direction. I need 2 or more water tiles connected to this in order to complete it. So this is basically a lake or ocean tile, whatever you want to call it, and it can be placed anywhere up against any side. As you see, it'll close off areas that are not water connected to it. Plus, you can make big sprawling water masses if you leave it open. So we'll connect that one there. Now we have a railway tile along with a field. And a connection like this here, which will give me field to field and grass to grass, should give me 20 points, which it does. All right, and now as you can see, this has dropped down to 2 from 3 because we've connected a piece to it already. You can see we have some housing coming up and some more railways coming up. So I'm going to keep this tile away from the train area so that I can move it down and put that there, and I'm going to add on some housing so I could build my houses out in this area here. All right. And the train direction will send this way. There are areas where you can close trains off, stopping areas and stations, and same thing with the waterways and whatnot. So you just have to think about it. This railway coming into this waterway might not be a good idea unless I can turn it away, which is what I'm planning on doing. So now when you have 2 quests like this, I already have one that's 3+, one that's 3+. I haven't figured out the specific logistics, but at some point you can only connect a certain amount of quests together. I don't know if there's a limit on how many quests or the size of it, but like these 2 could be connected together, and as you can see, it just drops it down now to 1 tile needing to be connected to each in order to complete both of them. Were I to connect this tile, for example, it would close out these 2. I would not be able to complete them, as these are the only spots I can connect to still for that. So sometimes you have to make a choice on whether you want to work with one number or another number, or how you want to play it. Something like this here, you need 21 or more trees for this tile to be perfect, or completed. So this quest here, so we're going to put that right next to it, and then something like this, we can connect it to both. Which will give me enough to complete that particular quest. You spin tiles by your mouse wheel in the game. You can try to get them to connect, but this is perfect because it has 2 sides with forest on it, which is exactly what I needed here. So as you can see, you get 100 for completing it, 20 for the 2 sides connected, and it adds tiles to your stack. Same thing over here. This is going to complete these 2 quests when I add this onto it. So boom, boom, 100, 100 tiles added to it. And then you can proceed on from there. There's train tracks to add on. They need at least 3 tracks to be connected to it. I do like to continue my runs sometimes, because eventually you'll get another one. You see how this one is popped up now. This is 6 or more. And we could drop this into place here, which will finish this tile off and knock this down to 2. And the same type of thing with this here. If I place it right, you can still get it to connect with these 2 tiles here connecting, if you can find the right one to connect to them. Let's drop this one here so that it still gets, oh no, actually we'll do it this side here. 1 more required. The area will light up when it's connected to something else. So as you can see, if I place it here, it's only connecting to that part. If I connect it here, it's only connecting to the other side. But if I connect it in the middle, I get both. Then this here wouldn't be a perfect snap, but we can set it up to try to be at some point. Alright, now you see how we've gotten a bigger one now. This one requires 90 plus trees to be attached to it. So since I have continued this, when I drop it, I'll already be at 90. So now that completes that. More tiles added to the pile. And that's the basic tenets of the game. As you go along, the board will get larger and larger depending on how you want to build and how you want to play. You're always looking to at least connect like sides. Sometimes you'll get bonuses for different things, like connecting sides that always match. But these will change from game to game and mission to mission depending on what you've unlocked. So you could see we have to make a farce with at least 500 trees. I have 150 trees on the board in this pile right here. So we just keep working on it, connecting it together any way we can in order to continue the run of tiles. And that is the basics of Dorf Romantik. Like I said, a very relaxing game. The music is nice. It plays well. I haven't run into an issue at all. The game is actually quite fun and enjoyable. And you can just keep going on and on and on. As long as you can keep adding tiles to your stack by completing quests, the game will continue. And that is it for this episode of Barrendar Streams. Like I said, Dorf Romantik available on Steam, retailing for US $10. And I thank you for watching the video.